Alright guys, Iron Horse Musings here. I'm out of my element off the motorcycle, but I said I was going to do a video on traditional wet shaving, and this is it. This is not a tutorial or anything. This is just a very basic introduction to it, the terms surrounding it, and just to give you a basic beginning of what it is, and to check it out if you like it. So let's dig into it. Alright guys, so this is my setup here, different things I shave with and stuff, and I'll just tell you about a little bit of history. But shaving's been around since, about since man's been around, who's wanted to get rid of facial hair and things. So this is, they basically started out with knives that were sharpened to a very sharp point and would shave their faces with. We know the ancient Egyptians shaved with knives made of pure gold, and they shaved with something similar to this, not exactly like this. This has been around since about the 16th century, but this is a straight razor. This is Ralph Ost straight razor made in Solingen, Germany. It's one of the better ones out there. Made a huge difference when I switched to one that was of good quality. I bought one off the internet with a cheap little strop kit, all less than $100, and my sink looked like an operating table. So doesn't do that anymore. I have about 30-40 shaves under my belt with this now. It's getting better. I shave with it on the weekends when I have more time to devote to it. I like learning the technique and stuff. I still don't think it's quite as close as the safety razors are, but the guys that are very into this will tell you they get a BBS or a baby bottom smooth shave with their straight razor every single time. And I think it's all in technique and how used to it you are. But it's basically how your great-great-grandfathers shaved, or my great-grandfather shaved. And then we'll move on with a little bit more of the history. King Gillette is basically credited for inventing the safety razor, although there was some out in the mid-19th century. But they were still made of forged steel and on the equivalent of $140 in today's money, so not really affordable to the average Joe out there. He had the idea of coming up with disposable blades, and that really made it much more economical and for the everyday person to use. So in 1901 he formed the American Safety Razor Company. In 1902 he changed the name to the Gillette Safety Razor Company, and he got his big break in 1917, or the opening of World War I, and he got the Army contract. So what I have here, this is a 1917 Gillette safety razor. It is a three-piece razor, meaning there's the head, the comb, and the handle. And then this is a blade case where the blades were carried around. And I'll show you the blades here in a minute. But the same blades that are made today will still fit this. And this is not the service set that was given the contract. Those are usually in a khaki set, sort of like a fabric set. And they were given to all the Army men. The Army really needed them because World War I was the first time the human race was using poisonous gas to kill each other. And you needed a very clean shaven face to fit a gas mask tight against your face and prevent you from getting killed with poisonous gas. So the Army gave Gillette the contract for that. And this set that I showed you was made and sold on the bases on military bases, and civilians could buy them as well. So, and then we'll fast forward to about this is a 1966. It's still in the package. It's a Gillette Super Speed, and this will get us started right into the types of safety razors there are, because there's basically a few types. This is an original. It's still, even the blades are still in the wrapper. My wife got this for me for my birthday one year, knowing I was into this and stuff. But this is the exact same kind of razor I saw in my grandfather's sink and what they shaved with. And this is called a butterfly razor. So it's not a two-piece or a three-piece, but it has butterfly doors, and some people call them barn doors. So you would lay your double-edged blade on there, close it up, and start shaving. I've actually shaved with this once just to say I did, but it's a collector's item for me, so I keep it in its case and just on a display. And that'll bring us into some of the more modern razors, because these are still made today. And it was something before I got into it, I didn't even know they still made these. I thought you had to get the cartridges or electric razor, and those were your only choices. And I started looking for something cheaper, and I was a Mach 3 guy. Loved Mach 3 razors. Don't really have anything bad to say about them. They shaved great, but they were extremely expensive. And you get a case, or there's a small case of them. I think it had 4 packs of 4 each. Was like $38 or something like that. And then you started seeing them, they were being locked up because they were such a high theft item, so you saw them locked up in the stores. So when I was looking into some of the shave clubs and other things that were out there, I discovered they still made these. So I'm going to give that stuff a try. I'm a big history buff. I like knowing what people did in the past. And my first razor was this. This is a Merkur 34C. It is a 2-piece razor, so it comes apart in 2 pieces. And you put that, I'm getting shaky on the camera there. And then you tighten the blade down, you put the blade in there, tighten it down. And then you start shaving. You don't have an edge on each side of your blade, will stick out just a few millimeters outside there. And this is a safety bar. Part of why they call them safety razors is you just can't, you could slightly nick yourself and cut yourself pretty good depending on the aggressiveness of the razor, but it's kind of difficult to do. You got to be careful. You don't want to pick them up from the sides or anything, of course. This one is not adjustable. I'll get into what adjustables are, and it's fairly mild, meaning there's not a whole lot of blade exposure, and but it will give you a very close shave, especially a 3-pass shave. And when I say 3-pass shave, that means 1 shave with the grain, 1 shave across the grain, and 1 shave against the grain. And the grain being that of which way your hair flows and stuff. So, and this is also a closed comb razor. If you know, this is a solid safety bar. So the next step up, and a little bit more aggressive from that, would be an open comb. Now this is a 3-piece razor, but this comb is open. So, and there's a little bit more blade exposure. It's a little bit smaller head, and it's a little bit farther away. But when I say 3-piece, when you unscrew it, it comes apart in 3 pieces. So you have the handle, you have the comb, and then you have the head. You stick the blade in the head, you put it against the comb, and then tighten it up, tighten the handle back up, and you're ready to go. The nice thing about the open comb is it allows you to keep shaving more, and especially with thicker beards and stuff, a couple days growth or something. And it just plows right through it. It is a little bit more aggressive. You have a little bit more blade touching your face, but you don't have to keep rinsing it off to get in there. That's a huge thing over safety razors, over cartridge razors. There's no clogging up with these things. You stick it in your bowl of water or under your running water, and it just goes right up. And the other thing is you could get blades from all over the place. I mean, these are Persona blades. They're made in the US. Shark blades, I believe, are made in Turkey. I'd have to look that up though. The rest of them I know that I have are made in Russia. So Polsilvers, these are my favorite blades. They're called Super Iridium, and I believe that's from the coating on them. And then Astras, also made in Russia, and they have a coating on them of platinum. When they have a coating on them, it makes it a little smoother going across your face. You can get just plain stainless steel, but I tend to have some irritation when I use those. So I really like the platinum coated ones. And then Gillette is still around today, and of course you know that from their razors and stuff. But they're still in this business as well with the safety razors and stuff. And there's just all kinds you can get. So I've showed you a 2-piece. And a 3-piece razor, and this is my favorite razor. This is called a Merkur. The first one was made by Merkur that I showed you to the 34C. This is called the Merkur Progress. Now, this is a 2-piece razor as well. The top comes off, but once you have it on, you can turn the handle and adjust how much blade exposure there is. So like that setting there would be a fairly aggressive shave right there. And then you can dial it all the way down and have that would be even more mild than the Merkur 34C. So, and that is my go-to razor. I have another adjustable, and this is sort of the Grand Mac of safety razors. This is another Merkur, made in Germany. Solage in Germany, the same place the straight razor is. They're very well known for their craftsmanship and stuff when it comes to razors. But this is not considered really a two-piece or a three-piece. I guess you could say it's a two-piece, but it is adjustable. So you would spin the handle and adjust it, but the top doesn't come off until you actually snap it off with your thumb, and then it comes off in two pieces. I don't like it as much because when you pop that off, sometimes the blade can fall out. So unless you take it off right down on the table, which is exactly how I load and unload it now, the blade can come flying out, and that's not good to have a sharp blade falling when you're shaving or just out of the shower. So some interesting things is my wife has made some razor handles for me. So she bought some razor heads, and she actually turned this one, which I like to shave with. This is made out of multicolored acrylic, and she got it in square blanks, and she rounded it off on a lathe, filed it down, and shaped it, and made that for me. She made a matching brush as well. She bought the knot of the brush already made up, and then turned that and shaped the handle. And then she also made this one out of wood. This is a stained hardwood, and she made this one. This is more for display. We tried shaving with it. The stain, when people stain wood, it tends to come off in the water, so I would not recommend you going out and making a handle out of stained wood. She did seal it with CA acrylic, but still in the holes where the handle has to fit into, some of the stain will leak out. So we don't use that razor, but it's a great display piece and stuff. So some of the other things when you have to get into wet shaving, you'll want a bowl, you'll want blades, and the bowl is to mix up your shaving cream, and you'll do that with a brush and stuff. I have a bigger one upstairs that I like to use because when you mix any shaving cream and it makes this sound, the wife doesn't like that at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I have a soup bowl that works really good for mixing it up. This is nice. This is one of the first ones I had, and it's nice to mix up stuff. And this is my favorite brush, by the way, made by Simpson Company. It's the Simpson Kernel. It is pure badger hair, and it's made out of that. And that's some of the differences with the brushes too. You can get them. This one is made with boar's hair. It's a lot stiffer, a lot harder on your face. Some guys really like that with the hard backbone. It mixes up hard lathers really well, and we'll get into that in a minute when I talk about soaps and stuff. So if I get a hard puck of soap or something, I will use this to sometimes mix it up. And then if you're not into using real fur from badgers and animals or boar, and that bothers you, they do make synthetic brushes. So this is a synthetic brush, very soft, just like the badger hair. I don't find it holds the heat or holds the water as well as the natural badger hair does. So I've tried them, want to make sure I've tried them on, see what was the best to use. And then it brings us to the other point. So when you shave with cartridge razors, you typically either use this or maybe something like this for your shaving cream. Well, once you get into traditional wet shaving, you find there's a whole world of things out there of shaving creams and stuff. So the internet is just loaded with this stuff, and I was amazed. So you can get shaving creams in a tube, and again, you would put like a dollop of this on your brush, and then put it in your bowl and mix it up. And that works great. Parasso is an Italian company, and their stuff is great. This is it's in Italian, so I can't tell you, but it's basically a eucalyptus, sort of a menthol smell and feel on that. Really gives it to you. The first one I ever tried, and this is one I'd recommend for beginners, is Taylor of Old Bond Street sandalwood. The smell is great. This one is about used up, but the consistency of the cream is like frosting, so it's very easy to lather up. So you run your brush in there a couple times, and then you mix it up in your mug to a really rich lather, and you want some nice like frosted peaks with your lather, and that works great. And then you can get into harder soaps too. So this is Gaelic Tweed from WSP. This is an American company. It is a hard soap, so you can touch that and it's not going to get on your fingers and stuff. But when you put your wet brush on there and mix it up, you'll get a little bit of a sudsy lather, and then you put it in the bowl and mix it, and after about 30 seconds you just start seeing a lather appear. That works really great. Razor Rock, this is another Italian company. Again, it's kind of a hard soap, but it's a little bit softer than the one I just showed you. You could actually stick your fingers in there and move it around a little bit. It smells great. It's its own unique smell. There's nothing I can compare it to, and you can get shaving soaps in so many different varieties and smells that is just aromas that is just amazing. And then you also have stuff, if you have a really hard beard or you haven't shaved in a couple days, this is a great idea. It's another product from Parasso. It is a pre-shave oil, and it's basically like a shaving cream. You put a little bit of that on, put it on your face, but it's clear, doesn't lather up, but it puts a nice oil coating sort of on your face. And this is a menthol again. Smells really great, but it just gives some extra added protection when you're trying to get through a really thick beard or something. So I talked a little bit about cost. So I'm going to talk about the blades and stuff. This stuff, all these, you can start with, if I recommended starting with anything, you can get a Mercor 34C on Amazon for a little over $30. The shaving cream you can get is not too bad. And it's about $15 a tub, but it lasts about 5-6 weeks or so, depending how you use it. The harder soaps tend to last a little longer, but they're a little harder to lather up. It takes a little getting used to. The sandalwood shaving cream is very easy. You'll lather it up the first time like it was nothing. But these blades, these are less than a nickel a piece when you come down to it. Well, I got this whole box of Astras. You'll see these in barbershops and things like that sometimes. For $16 on Amazon. That's 100 blades. If you make a blade last a whole week, that's 2 years of shaving right there. I typically go about 3 days on a blade. Sometimes 4. The better blades, like my Pole Silvers, I can get 4 out of. On the Astras, I typically go about 3 shaves, and then I notice it getting a little rough. But that's a double-edged razor blade, and it's simply called double-edged because there's 2 sharp sides. You just turn it around and you can get another regimen of shaving out of that one too. So you basically turn it after every section of your face you do until it fills up, and then you turn it around, shave, and then you rinse it off and stuff. So I can pretty much get a whole side of my face done before that's done. So basically that's it. That's traditional wet shaving in a nutshell. And if you didn't know this stuff was out there, I hope you learned something. If you got any questions, please feel free to put them down in the comments. If you liked what you saw, hit subscribe. I don't know how many more shaving videos I'll do. There's a lot of tutorials out there. If you're interested, just type in the search of YouTube how to wet shave, how to double edge shave, safety razor shaving, anything like that. Some of the better ones out there I can tell you about are there's a guy named Geo Fatboy. He has a shaving shop up in the Chicago area. Watch some of his videos. Nick Shaves is another one. He's got a lot of shaving tutorials out there, and there's even some funny ones. Maybe I'll put some links in the description below, and you can check those out. But that's about all I have, guys. If you got any questions or you want some more information on this. Oh, one more thing before I go. This isn't just for the guys. This is for the ladies too. This lilac colored one, although I like the color lilac, it's not something I'm going to go buy for myself. This is my wife's. She actually shaves her legs now with a double-edged razor. She has very sensitive skin as well, and this gives her a lot less irritation as well when she shaves. And you gotta think about it. When you got, you're gonna get irritation when you got cold, sharpened steel running across your skin. And if you have 5 blades running across your skin, that's a little bit more irritation because you got one blade cutting, another one pulling, another one cutting behind it. It's just very, very irritating. When you have just a single blade going across and you have the protection of premium shave creams like these. I don't even use the barber saw, and there's nothing wrong. You could still use this and still do shaving with it, but I find this is really dry and my face is really red after using it now as compared to using some of these other things. Plus I like experimenting with different ones from around the world, and it's a fun thing to do. All right, guys, so that was it. If you got any questions or something, please leave the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.